Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this channel of Sweetwater Ministries. Tonight, we're not going to actually talk about the third message in the series. We will pick that back up tomorrow. Tonight, I just wanted to really express the importance of tithing. Tithing is giving the 10th back to God. The 10th is the 10th of whatever you make, whether it be in crops or money, or if you're paid in clothing, then a tenth of the clothing you receive, the articles of clothing. So if you get 100 pieces of clothing, you donate 10. It's very important that we not rob God, as Malachi 3:8 says, that we must not rob God, that we must bring forth the 10th to the storefront or the storehouse. And God essentially says that if you don't trust me that I will bless you, then test me in this and see that I don't fling open the floodgates of heaven or the windows of heaven. Depends on the version of what Bible you use to understand. But the importance of tithing is very important. You wouldn't go out and you wouldn't rob. I mean, some maybe have, and some obviously have, and some will. But if you're a sane body, you're not going to go out and rob a bank. You're not going to go out and rob a store. So why do we rob God? God brings forth the blessings upon us. Why would we not give back to him, a thanks? Why would we not give back what is deserving of him? He's only asking for 10%. We must bring forth that 10th in whatever it is, the clothing, the money, shoes, whatever it is that God has blessed you with. We must bring forth. God is so loving and willing to give us so much. Why would we want to rob God? Why would we not want to give back to God? He put his only begotten son to the cross for us. So why would we not at least give him a 10th? My wife is an overachiever, and I appreciate that. She gives 20%, 10 for tithing and 10 for offering. No matter what, 20%. And I've seen firsthand that when we rob God, God doesn't rob us. Everyone's like, oh, now he's not going to bless me because I can give him money, blah, blah. No. It's not that he's not blessing you. It's that you hindered your own blessing by not giving back to him the 10th that he is deserving of. So he's not keeping it from you. What you're doing is you've essentially put a halt to your blessings. When you don't pay God or don't give God his 10th, your blessings are going to be on hold. And I've seen this firsthand. Things have been a little tough sometimes. So at times I've been like, God, I need this money more than you do. And then my blessings are on hold. But then I noticed that once I pay back God his 10th, it takes a little bit of time to get the blessings rolling again. But God essentially restarts the machine of blessings and reopens the windows. Essentially, what Malachi is saying is bring it to the storefront. So your storefront is heaven. So look at it in this way, because some of you are visuals. When we're bringing forth the 10th, those windows are open. The floodgates are open of heaven for us. But when we choose not to tithe or not to give our 10th, God shuts that door. God shuts the window. He's not stopping us from ever receiving the blessings. What he's doing is, and this individual is he's waiting for you to bring back what is owed. And once that is brought forth to him, those floodgates and those windows open again. And those blessings will start pouring in. I've seen this firsthand, time in and time out. That when you rob God, he's not robbing you. He's just holding. Think of it like a savings account, kind of. Except you did wrong, so he's essentially holding your blessings. He's holding on to them. He's not taking them away for good. He's not taking them away for good. He's just holding them in the storefront. It's kind of like when you put something on layaway. When you put something on layaway, I don't even know if that still exists, they're not going to let you take it home and then make payments on it. No, what you got to do. Sorry. What you got to do is you got to pay it off, and then that item is yours. So if you think of it in that essence, you must pay the 10%, and then that blessing is yours. There's plenty of things. We pay for goods. We pay for shoes, clothes, glasses, food. We pay more than 10%. We pay for whatever the cost is, plus a 10%, well, whatever the sales tax is in your state, or no sales tax. In my state, I believe it's a 10.6% sales tax. So you're willing to pay the state sales tax of 10.6%, plus the cost of the item. And you're willing to do that. So what is it to pay the 10% to God? He's not asking you for the cost of an item. You see, your blessings are free. All he's asking is for the sales tax. 10%. But it's worth so much more than sales tax. God sent his only begotten son to that cross for you and I. So essentially what you're doing is you're paying the 10%. Salvation was free. So essentially we're paying back our glory. I mean, we're paying him back in glory and thanking him like, hey, God, thank you so much. But what we don't realize is he doesn't keep that. And a lot of times, even when you tithe that 10%, many of you use it as a tax write-off anyway, and then get some of that money back. So you're getting that money back, and it keeps continuing and continuing and continuing. The more you donate, the more you get back. So what is it? You get that money back anyway. It's a tax write-off. It's a charity giving, or whatever you want to call it. I don't remember what it's called on the tax return. But you get that money back anyway. And it's a deduction. So you're really not losing anything. You're getting it all back. Or paying into your tax return. So you pay less on taxes. You're getting it back no matter what, plus some. So you might as well just do it. There's nothing wrong with tithing 10%. It doesn't matter if your friends don't do it, you do it. Set the standard for what needs to be done. God is so great. The least we could do is give him 10%. What's $10 of 100? Oh, you got $90 now. Give it back. You'll get it back at the end of the year if you use it. We try not to, and when we have everything that we get back in that giving, we give back to the church, because that's what you should do. If you're tithing and giving God that 10%, and then you're using it as a tax write-off, you should give it right back, because it's God's money anyway. And the more you give back, the more you get back. So you should give back. Why not? What do you have to lose by giving God what's rightfully his? Nothing. You've already gained the greatest gift of all. You've gained salvation for free. And what we don't realize is when we're tithing, it's kind of going into a savings account in heaven at times also. Because what you put in for the kingdom here, you will get back up there. You give time, you get time back up in heaven. You give money, you get money back in heaven. You are already blessed with salvation and life. You're already blessed. So why not pay into it? You pay into your retirement. You're paying the stocks. What is it to pay into your salvation? Nothing. God didn't charge you. God hasn't charged each one of us like $1 million for our salvation, and then once you pay that, you're good. No. So tonight's a little bit shorter of a message, but I just want to hit home that the importance of tithing is more important than you even realize. And you're not losing anything. In fact, you're gaining. For 10%, you're gaining a bigger blessing. And I'm not saying tithe for blessings. No. Do it out of the kindness of your heart. Do not ever tithe with an ill intention in your heart, because God doesn't want that. If you I gotta give this 10% again, blah blah blah. God doesn't want it. Give with a joyful heart. Give with a loving heart. And I'm sure I've already preached this message before, but it's so important to tithe. You make $100, give $10. What is to give $20? Nothing. Someone bless you with $100, give bless, and it doesn't always have to. And this is what I need you to understand. If you're I can't think of the word. If you don't feel comfortable giving it to the church, there's other ways to tithe. Give it to someone that needs it, that's less fortunate. It says in the Bible, help your brothers and sisters. So you see a homeless person, use your tithing money and give it to them. Use your tithing money, stack it, save it, and what you would normally tithe, give to someone that's less fortunate. Buy them a meal. Then not only are you giving back to God, but you extending your blessing of what you received to someone that would otherwise not have that blessing. It doesn't hurt to give. In fact, in the Bible, it speaks more about giving than taking. Because it is our job that when we receive a blessing to give it. Not give it all away, but share it. And when we share it, we truly are blessed more than we realize. Because not only are you getting a blessing in return, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying do it for, money, but the blessing that you're receiving for that is the satisfaction that you are helping someone out. The beauty of helping someone out, they wouldn't have the opportunity otherwise. And I get that a lot of people are somewhat, and I'm going to be transparent, heartless and egotistical and selfish, but why does it hurt to give? And I know that a lot of these people, well, they can go get a job. A lot of these people can't get a job. I'm not saying give them cash so they can go spend it on something bad possibly, but bring them food. If they want a beer and they're being honest, buy them a beer. It's not that hard. God loves you. God loves you so much that he gave you salvation for free. Yeah, we got to work. We got to make it through life. We got to work. But that's because our ancestors, Adam and Eve, introduced sin into this world. The very first rebellion. All they had to do was listen. And all you have to do is listen. Tithe 10%. Give it to somebody. I had someone, and I'm not going to mention names, but I had someone, and we were in a really tough time. And I didn't know what we were going to do. We had a car broken into back at this time. And I really needed help to get a new windshield. I mean, not a new windshield. A new glass. A new rear window. Or maybe it was front. I don't remember because it was a while ago. And one of the people that has helped mentor me somewhat gave me, because I didn't have the money to fix the window at the time. We were really, really hard up on money. And I didn't have extra money. We were barely even have enough food to eat at the time. Or money to feed ourselves at the time. And he gave me some of the money out of his tithing. This was tithing money anyway. That's what he said. So in giving me that, He helped someone less fortunate. He didn't give it to a church. He gave it to someone that was less fortunate than him. You got clothes you're not wearing? Donate them. You got shoes you're not wearing? Donate them. There's constantly people in this world that need what you have. You have extra food? Donate it. It's not that difficult to just bless somebody. It's really not. It's not that difficult to tithe 10%, whether it be to a church or a foundation, a charity, to someone less fortunate. 10% is not that much. You spend more on that. You spend more than that on the stuff you buy. You really do. This is an eye-opener for you and I. That you spend more money than you give. And I get, I work hard for it. Yeah. So did God by sacrificing his only son on the cross for you and I. God worked hard to create what we have. God works hard to bless us. God works hard in the hearts of the people that we encounter that may bless us. And in all honesty, the least we could do is give back to God. 10%. He's not asking for it, but how dare we rob him? And I just ask you guys that you would understand the impact you would have in doing this. And I just prayed that God would soften your heart when it comes to tithing. I just ask God to bless you abundantly and in more ways than you could ever imagine. And I just pray that you would open your heart and your mind and your soul and your body, as well as your spirit, to God. And let him do what he will with you. I want you, and I challenge you to say, God, here I am. Do what you will with me. I'm ready to serve wherever you need me. I dare you. I challenge you. I also challenge you that if you're not willing to tithe the 10% yet out of your paycheck, then figure out a way to bring in extra money and tithe 10% out of that so that your paychecks aren't being tampered. There's a guy, I can't remember his name. I think it's Dave Reich. I don't remember. He has a book, and it's called You Were Meant to Climb. And he has so many stories of how he was not ready, but his wife was yoked for God and Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit before he was. And he one day challenged God. Said, all right, God, I'm not ready to give from my income because we need that money. But I'll start working harder. You hear that? Working harder. And I'll pick up a recycling route before recycling was even a thing, really. In the early 90s, he started tithing 10% from that. And then it grew into a one-item grocery delivery. Before Uber and Instacart and all that, Grubhub was even a thing. And then it grew into a gas station. Then it grew into a grocery store. Now he owns multiple different businesses and is worth millions of dollars just by one challenge for God. He listened. He challenged him, and God listened. And God flung open the gates. But as you know, you can't get those blessings and then hold on to them and be selfish. You got to continue to be consistent. You cannot and you should not be selfish with your blessings. The point of a blessing is not to just stop with you. It's to spread it and share it. Because when you are blessed, you shall bless others. Because I know that you've gone in your life and someone has blessed you because they had something extra. or an abundance of something. So do the same. It's not going to hurt. It's going to feel really good. God bless you guys. I thank you. Have an amazing Monday night, sorry. I'm going ahead. Monday night. And I hope you guys, have an amazing night and that you wake up rejuvenated and ready to kick butt. You guys got this. Thank you and God bless.